Hi students, in the previous video we see about the PLC CPU. So that means the PLC CPU in whatever the PLC, that means either that is a small PLC or large PLC, the PLC CPU mainly explained with two units. What are those two units? Solid state memory and processor. So again that solid state memory will be classified into RAM and ROM and PROM, EPROM, EEPROM and no RAM, etc. And the processor performance can be decided by the bit size and clock speed. So as the bit size increases, the processor will be very efficient one, and in the similar fashion that the clock speed also increases, the processor can be considered as a efficient processor. So now in this video we will see about the input modules and output modules and their interfacing and some of the power supplies and some programming equipments, etc. So coming to the input modules, the operation of the input modules and the output modules can be explained with mainly in four stages. So what are the, for suppose for the input modules, what are the four stages means? So this one is the terminal one, that means input terminals, and similarly this one is the converter circuits, and this one is the isolation circuits, and this one is the output logic circuits. So first our terminal one decides the, that means the input status will be decides the whether the particular input device is present or not. That means if the input device is in operation, then the terminal will be considered as a active high, and similarly if the input device is off, then we can consider that as the zero. That means no device is connected to the input module. So like this, we have nearly 18 to 32 input terminals for a single input module. So for a single input module we have so many terminals. For our convenient, here we can explain only one terminal. Like this, we have nearly 32 terminals for a 32 terminal input module. So the remaining construction is same. Here only input devices only changes. That means at every terminal we may have different devices. So for example, here we consider one switch or sensor, etc. So suppose this one is the present, then our CPU receives the 5 volts DC only, 5 volts DC signal only. So we have to convert the DC voltage to the CPU. So whether the input is either AC or DC, we have to convert that AC or DC to the CPU. So that's why I represent this block as the converter block. That means that converter block is either AC to DC conversion or DC to DC conversion. DC to DC conversion. So in case of the AC to DC conversion, simply we can provide here one rectifier circuit. So to convert this AC to DC, we place the one rectifier circuit, and after that, after generating the one DC voltage, normally this DC voltage can be generated by the regulated by the JNR JNR diode. Why? Because JNR diode can be acts as a regulator. JNR diode can be acts as a regulator. So that regulating voltage will be applied to the our CPU by providing some isolation. Normally this isolation can be provided with the help of a opto isolator with the help of a LED bulb. So if you send this isolated DC voltage will be supplied as a supplied by the output logic to the CPU. Why we can send through this output logic means the CPU may not take any voltage. That means I already told the CPU with applicable voltage is 5 volts DC. So that adjustment will be done by this output logic. So this is about the what is the thing happen in the input module. What the thing happens means this internal modules operation can be explained in 4 stages. So what are the 4 stages? First one is the input devices stages. That means here we have so many terminals, and whether the for the so many terminals, whether we connect the input device or not. If you connect the input device, that can be considered as a one, and if you one or on condition, and if the any device is not connected to the input terminals, so that can be considered as a off means there is no use of that particular terminal. So this will be converted to DC only. So whether the signal sensed by the sensor or switches or any transducers, whether that is a AC or DC, we have to convert that AC to the DC, and that voltage will be regulated by the Zener diode, and that voltage will be isolated by the opto isolator, and that signal will be sent to the CPU with the help of a output logic. So this is the operation of the input module. And coming to the output module interfacing, this is the reverse of the this particular function. That means, so you now at now we send the one signal to the CPU. So on the CPU we have the PLC program. So based upon the signal sent by the input module, the PLC program will be running. So that will generate one output signal. So that output signal will be sent to the output devices through the output module. So the output module's operation also explained with the same 4 stages. So what are the same 4 stages, but in the different reverse manner? Reverse manner. That means in the previous we have first input to terminals. That means input device terminals. But now here we have the output device terminals, and next converter, then opto isolator, then output logic in the previous section. But now in the that is the reverse manner. That means first we have the input logic, then again the opto isolator, and then the converter circuits, and then the output devices. So the signal generated by the CPU will be sent to the input logic, and which terminal have to be, this input logic decides the which terminal have to be sensed by the signal. That means sent by the signal. That means this signal, this generated signal will be sent to the which output device. Which output device will be decided by this input logic. And again we have the isolation circuit. That means by using the opto isolator. Why means, suppose is there any surges or malfunctions in the output device side, then also the CPU may be get damaged. That means we can operate the input devices or output devices more than the 120 volts or 230 volts. In case of the AC, we may use the 230 volts, but the CPU withstandable capacity is only 5 volts DC. So if there is any reason, that means in the previous section, if suppose this this rectifier circuit may be damaged, then this total 230 volts will be applied to the our CPU. If there is no isolator circuit, then what happened? The CPU may get damaged. In the similar fashion, in the output side also, if there will be any high voltages, if there is no opto isolator, then that high voltages will be applied to the our PLC CPU devices, then that CPU may get damaged. So because of that reason, we can provide the for the input side and for the output side, we have to isolate the input devices and output devices. So that isolation can be done by using the opto isolators. So by using the opto isolators, we can send the signal, and based upon the requirement of the output devices, that means whether that the output device is a AC device or DC device, we can convert this DC to whatever the voltage we want to change, we can make. Suppose here the AC volt, here the output voltage is AC voltage. This can be normally achieved in here is by using a triac circuit. And if that is a DC voltage, then we can use the DC to DC converter. DC to DC converter. So here the output converter circuits may be different, but the remaining construction is same, and this can also be applicable for nearly 32 devices. That means one output module can have nearly 32 terminals. Nearly 32 terminals. But here the voltage application should be same, not different. That means these 32 terminals can be operated for the if AC only. If you choose AC, or if you choose the DC, the 32 terminals can be considered as the DC only. So the interfacing of these two, that means this one is the CPU. So in the CPU, here we have the 8 input connections. So here the 1 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. These 7 are we consider as the input terminals. That means in order to send the input devices, and from these terminals we can choose the different terminals. And in addition to the input devices, we have one common terminal for the ground purpose, and the VCC terminal also we have power for the case of the power supply. And first we can go for the regulating. So this can be represented with the regulating circuits, and then isolating, then will be sent to the CPU. So after coming from the CPU, some input logic is there, and then up to isolation. This one is the isolation representation. This transistors representation is nothing but isolation representation. Here we have 8 devices. For those 8 devices, we may have 8 opto isolators, but in this diagram we can represent only 2 only. Remaining can be represented with dashes. And similarly, the output logic also will be isolated. So here also we represent the 2 isolators only. That means the 2 transistors. And output devices here are 7 devices: 200, 201, 202, 203, 204, 205. So here 200, 201 and 202, 3 are used for the same load. That means L1, L2 and L3. Here different loads. So this one is the L4 load, and this one is the L5 load, and this one is the L6 load. So in this manner, the input modules and output modules are interfacing. So next, power supplies. So what happened in the power supplies of the PLC system? That means normally in our domestic applications, we may, for example, we may use 230 volt supply. 230 volt supply. That means that is a DC supply. Actually speaking. So actually telling. So AC supply. So that AC supply is 230 volts normally. So whatever the voltage, that means 230 volts, and whatever the voltage, that voltage we have to step down to 5 volts DC. Why? Because our CPU operating, all the CPU operating units are working with only 5 volts DC supply only. 5 volts DC supply only. So here how we can convert the, how our power supplies block convert the or achieve the 5 volts DC is nothing but power supplies block. So let us see. So here we have the two terminals L1 and L2. So these terminals will be sent to the converter circuit. That means if the voltage is a AC voltage, then that converter circuit is a rectifier, and if the voltage is a DC voltage, then that converter circuit is a chopper circuit. That means DC to DC circuit. So here we have the AC supply. We consider as the AC supply. So AC supply means we can convert the AC supply into pulsating DC with the help of a rectifier. So we can convert this sinusoidal positive and negative cycled sinusoidal supply as the only positive cycled supply. So this consisting of the some ripples. This is not the pure DC. So in order to remove this remove these ripples, what we do? We can connect the output of the rectifier circuit to the filter circuit. Then this will be purified, and we will get the pure DC. So this DC volt now just we convert the AC to DC, and the DC will be purified, and the voltage level we may not know. So but the requirement of the voltage is only 5 volts. So that can be regulated by using the regulator. So first the AC voltage will be converted to DC by using the rectifier circuit, and that rectifier circuit definitely consisting of the some ripples. So those ripples can be eliminated by the filters, and that voltage will be either be applicable to the CPU or not. So we have to regulate that voltage by using the regulator circuit. So this is the power supply block. And next, programming equipment. So programming equipment means how the program will be entered to our PLC CPU is nothing but programming equipment. So this programming equipment also explained in three ways. Now, what are the three ways means based upon the whether the PLC is a small PLC or large PLC. So in case of the small PLC, we can go for the handheld unit which can be looks like this one in this as shown in the diagram. So here this one is the handheld unit which consisting of membrane keypad membrane keypad and liquid crystal display. For entering the program we can use the membrane keypad, and for seeing the program we can use the liquid crystal display, and we dump the program present in this handheld unit to the PLC module through one cable. This is for the small PLC. But for the industrial applications, the programming equipment is a typewriting type keyboard, and the display unit is a monitor. So actually these two are the programming equipments. But in addition to these two programming equipments, we have another also. We consider another one also. That means in the PLC software we have already some existing programs are there. Suppose if you open file, we can go for the file and then open so many existing programs are there, and simply we can choose that existing program, and if you run, so then also a program will be executed. So this is also one of the programming equipment we consider. So that's why the programming equipment will be classified into three types mainly. That means for small PLC we use the handheld unit which uses the membrane keypad for typing the input and a liquid crystal display for seeing the output. And for the industrial purpose, that means for the large PLCs, typewriting typeboard is the for giving the input, and the CRT screen or monitor screen is the display purpose. And in addition to these two, we have one existing programs present in the PLC softwares. So by using those directly by using those programs, we can also go for the programming. So this is about the programming equipment. So in this video, we seen about the input modules and output modules and their interfacing, and how the power supply block can be converts the any AC voltage or DC voltage to 5 volts DC in the PLC CPU, and what are the various programming equipments in the PLC CPU in order to enter a program. So in the next video we will see about the programming formats. Thank you.